Good evening, Monique, and welcome.
And welcome to you.
Another evening of spiritual talk, all the way from Norfolk and, of course, from across the Atlantic to the beautiful, well, I should say, beautiful country of Canada. How are you, Monique?
Oh, I'm really good. I'm really good, and I'm really excited because we happen to have a guest from these parts, from beautiful British Columbia, and I look forward to interviewing him and promoting
Yeah,
him and hearing all about him because he's quite well known in these parts, definitely, and worldwide. I'm sure I know he has because he's done plenty of touring back pre-pandemic, of course.
yeah, yeah.
So now a lot of virtual demonstrations and sessions. And I think he might even be starting personal, private ones as well. We'll talk to him about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just going to say hello to a few of the guys that are coming in. Guys,
Yeah.
just let us know that you're in the live stream. We'd love to see a little comment just to say hello, that we know we're live, rather than us guys sitting here and we're talking to ourselves, because we know how Facebook can be a little bit
Yeah.
technical issues. So hi Tina, hi Emily and Carol. Lovely to see you guys. Let us know where you're watching from as well. That's always good. We like to know that we are a part of this global community now ever since the pandemic. Everyone's kind of coming together up via Zoom, or it's a wonderful thing. And it's it's probably one of the best things like to come out from it really is this kind of global family, which is fantastic. Hi Candy and hi Jane. Jane and Trevor, that's lovely to see you guys. So I'm quite excited about tonight's guest, Monique. I have to say, I've been listening to some of the music today.
Yes.
I'm so fascinated by
Yes.
the whole energy and the vibration and the frequency. And I love music anyway. So should we introduce our guest and get him in?
Absolutely. The sooner the better.
Mm,
His name is Matthew Kocel, and he's a sound healer and a cosmic throat singer. Wait till you hear his music. It's unbelievable. He offers private healing sessions and sound healing events by providing a meditative healing experience with music and sound using a variety of instruments and his voice. With the overtone singing, throat singing, and using his main instrument, his heart, he creates a space which allows us to connect with Mother Earth and our true selves. So that's fascinating.
brilliant. Let's get
Absolutely.
Matthew in.
Yeah.
Hi, Matthew.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Matthew.
Hi, Monique.
So wonderful to
Absolutely.
have you.
Yeah, absolute pleasure to have you here this evening. I know you're a very popular gentleman, and there'll be lots of people thinking, throat singer? What's a throat singer? Especially the people that I know be like, I've already asked me, Paul, what is a throat singer? And I'm like, wait and see. Wait and see, guys.
Wait and see. Yeah.
Absolutely. But we like to know about our guests. We like to know we talk about your journey, how it all started. And I know obviously we looked at your website. We always kind of do our research on our guests, but yours is quite an interesting story. I have to say, Matthew, please can you share it with us?
Well, there's more to the story than we are going to have time for today, but
Okay.
music has always moved me, and I think in my most trying times in my teenage years, music was a lifeline for me.
Yeah.
It was the one thing that gave me something that I really felt understood me and that I could relate to. And so there was certain music that I was listening to that was like a beam of light shining through the darkness and gave me hope and took me to a better place. And so I really wanted to find a way to recreate that and share it. And so in high school, I took up guitar. I'd played some other instruments, piano, trumpet, and a little bit of the percussion, and nothing really stuck. But guitar was always something that intrigued me. I'd been to small gatherings where friends were sharing the music and singing together, and
Yeah.
this is perfect. You can take it anywhere, and you can make music. And so that's what really got me going, and I found my voice. Being the youngest son of three in my family, there's a bit of bullying going on there in the growing up phase. And so I was always criticized whenever I tried to sing, but I found that if I got away from from that and amongst friends, then I had license to sing and share, and people responded.
Yeah.
And so music was, when you're turning 18 and everyone's asking you, what are you going to do with your life? Well, all I could think of was, I want to make music. So I studied in university for 2 years as a music major. During that time, I switched my main instrument from guitar to bass guitar, and it really hooked me. I really enjoyed the groove and occupying that space between the percussion and the other instruments and the voice, and it just I found something there. And during that time, I was very much inspired by Jimi Hendrix, among others.
Yeah.
But I was reading the biography of Jimi Hendrix it's called Voodoo Child of the Aquarian Age. And one day, as I was commuting to university with my friend and bandmate, he was driving, and I just buried myself in the book. And they were describing a song I had never heard before called Belly Button Window. It's not the most popular Hendrix song, but unbeknownst to me, my friend was putting that tape in the deck as we're driving. And as my eyes fell on the lyrics and started reading, Jimmy was singing those very words in absolute perfect timing. It could not have been timed more precisely. And I got a few lines in, I realized what was happening. I just got these waves of chills, and I thought, okay, Jimmy, God, universe, whoever it is, I'm paying attention here. This is, to me, it was a sign. And I just took a vow at that point, whatever it takes, I'm going to do this. And, I thought that meant that I was going to be a successful, rock god or something, and go on to the big time. Well, whatever it takes is kind of a hard road to travel. And I dropped out of university and moved to the nearest big city. I was raised in Colorado, so the nearest hub for me was Denver, Colorado. And I joined a working rock band. Now, this is in the early 80s. So in those days, every pub, every town, small or large cities, there were pubs and nightclubs where they had live music. That's what the young people did.
Yeah.
At least the people that I was hanging out with, we would go out and see live bands, and that's what I was doing. And it was quite an experience. I got to play with some very talented musicians, and some of whom had some pretty intense dysfunctional aspects to them. And that thrill of connecting and coming together to create music in a live situation and interacting with the audience had me hooked, despite all the hardships.
Yeah.
So after a few years of, I think maybe 2 years total of playing other people's music for a living, I soon realized this isn't going to get me where I think I need to go. So I started forming my own projects and composing our own music. And Denver is not, is more of a sports town than a music town. It's not like we're in Los Angeles or New York or London or Nashville or Austin, and this is way before the internet. So in those days, you needed a major record label deal in order to get to the next level. And that never happened, but I kept persisting, and we got to create some beautiful music, and that kept evolving. And I think over a 17-year period, I was in about 15 different bands. Some lasted longer than others. And it was always, a lot of heartbreak, as you put in all this work for very little pay, and then they'd always keep dissolving. Along the way, also, I was kind of living without a real spiritual path, a tangible spiritual path to give me that connection. I had a very profound experience as a preteen through my church youth group when my crown chakra opened, and I had, this energetic and spiritual connection that was established, but the religion that I was raised with wasn't giving me the goods. It wasn't feeding me. So I threw it all away, and the only thing I had to replace it with was music. Well, I soon, around my Saturn return, late 20s, I was really feeling that loss of that path, of that real tangible connection. And I knew I needed to find a way. And, you know, my bandmates weren't providing that for me. You know, the music wasn't, you know, there were moments of transcendence, but it wasn't consistent enough to sustain me. And I was moving into depression. So one day I just realized I have to find a way, because this is not working. And I was feeling like my time was very limited on planet Earth if I didn't find a way to make this deeper connection. So I just went out to a local bookstore and started searching. I found a book called Inner Power Secrets from Tibet and the Orient. Okay. That's the one that like jumped off the shelves at me. Yeah. And I learned about the chakra system. I learned about human energy system, the chi, the prana, whatever terms you want to call it. And there's so much packed into this little book, and it gave me some things to practice and feel. And just reading through the descriptions of the 7 major chakras, I knew that I'd found something real, because I could relate my own experience to what they're describing, the qualities of each chakra. And then they started with the base chakra, and when they got to the crown chakra, they're talking about the connection to spirit. That's when I realized that's what happened to me as a young kid. My crown chakra opened. I didn't even know what a chakra was, of course, at that time. And so I realized that experience was real. And that commitment I made was real, regardless of the religious workings around it. It didn't matter. I had made a commitment, and that connection was there for me to go deeper into. Well, within a few months of finding that book, I went into a metaphysical store for the first time. First ever metaphysical store. And I walked into a wall of sound that shook me to my core. They were playing a recording of the Gyoto monks from Tibet. Oh. And it's this order of monks that do a very deep overtone chant that is a form of throat singing. Their voices create such a deep resonance. It absolutely floored me. Now, mind you, I did not know what a mantra was at this time. Yeah. And it was intimidating. They had this playing very loud on the stereo system in the store. And I was almost afraid, but I wanted to be in it at the same time. I didn't know whether to run or lay down between the speakers. So when I asked what I was listening to, they said, "Oh, it's Tibetan monks." And I thought, oh my God, okay, I'm buying the tape, because it's late 1980s. That's what we had in cassette tapes.
I've still got Tibetan chimes and bells that I use in my meditation. It's powerful stuff.
It really is. It's timeless spiritual technology, you know. And so I started listening to them profusely and meditating to it and trying to mimic their sound unsuccessfully. And that was just percolating with me as I kept on the path of, you know, my rock music. It was turning into more progressive rock, and we're getting into like little higher dimensions with that. But in 1994, I took a short vacation and went camping in the mountains of Colorado, which I would do at every opportunity with my girlfriend at the time. And we climbed a mountain in South Park, Colorado, of all places, the real South Park. And we got to the top, and these words came out of my mouth. I don't know. I'd never thought this, but I just said, "I wonder if there's any crystals here." And I turned and looked, and there was this crystal laying in the sunlight all by itself. And I picked it up, and my world changed. You know, I felt in that moment like I was being watched. It was just so otherworldly. Well, went back home, and went back to work, and I was laid off from my job that day. And I'd been wanting to leave. My day job at the time, I'll be transparent here, I was a manager at a burlesque club. This high dollar, big fancy place. It was kind of dangerous at times, and I knew I had to get out of there because time was up, time to move on. And so I found the crystal, went to work, and I was laid off, just like that. Yeah. My band at the time, my final progressive rock band, is called Critical Mass, kind of ironic there as well. And we were scheduled to go into the studio that evening and begin recording a demo. And so I was completely shell-shocked. I had stated my intention to the universe. I had to get out of this club and, start living a more holistic and spiritual lifestyle. But I had no plan really, other than an interest in healing arts. And I knew I was good with my hands. So I was reading about Reiki, and I knew that whenever I massaged anyone, they told me how good I was. So I was building a little confidence there, but I didn't have a real plan. But anyway, our band, we recorded this demo that I still listen to today. Often when I'm on my way to gigs, I'm listening to my band Critical Mass because it still inspires me. But 2 months later, the band broke up. So it felt like the ground fell away underneath me, just disintegrated, and everything that I'd been doing just was gone. And I knew in my heart that this was the end of the road for me in that concept of making music. And I actually quit playing music at that time for the most part, for a couple of years. But after I went into massage therapy training and my Reiki training, I dove headfirst in all the meditation that I could absorb. And I'm just taking all the tools and techniques that I could absorb and putting it to work and transforming myself.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long before I got the inspiration to begin holding guided meditation circles in my home.
Okay.
Well, it was kind of an audacious thought, but I just called up all my friends and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm holding a meditation circle to help us ground and connect to the earth and connect to source. Do you want to come? And a few people came. And then they had an experience and they brought their friends. And this turned into an ongoing bi-monthly meditation group that went on for the next 3 or 4 years till I got married and moved to Canada. And during that time, about a year in to holding the meditation circles, I got to a point where there were no words to really describe or convey what I was perceiving and what I was feeling. So that's when I let out the first Om during a guided meditation.
Okay.
And I was quite shocked and a little bit surprised at the reaction. People told me how they felt the energy and vibration of my voice moving through them and around them, and the transformation that they felt as a result of that. So that was my green light from the universe, and I kept exploring, and I was learning about overtone singing, throat singing, and kind of getting a little bit more of an understanding of what the Tibetan monks were doing. And as I intoned the ohms, I was hearing more texture in the voice than I'd ever perceived before when I was belting things out into a microphone with a full band behind me. And so I was exploring the overtones, the harmonics that are inherent in our voice. This is something that everyone has. And literally about 10 years to the day since when I first heard the Tibetan monks, I went to a workshop with Jonathan Goldman, who lives in Colorado. He's quite well known in the sound healing circles. And he didn't teach that much vocal technique over the weekend, but he did demonstrate that deep Tibetan voice. He did one Om in that sound. And then he said, some people will get this after being around others who do it. And in that moment I said, that's me. And sure enough, the next day I got it. I sat down and it came through.
Wow.
That's what I said. And so I called up Jonathan Goldman, had his office phone number, got his voicemail, and said, full breath. I said, hey, Jonathan, it worked. I got the deep voice. Thanks. Hung up. And soon after that, I've got my first Himalayan singing bowl.
Sorry, Matthew,
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. So basically, it just happened.
It just happened. Well, in effect, I was attempting for 10 years, but then when I was in the presence of someone who did it and who actually gave that kind of permission, it came through.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it took me 10 years to become an overnight success at throat singing, to be able to pop that sound. And so that obviously reawoke the musician in me, and I'm hearing all these possibilities and all this multitude of tones that come through. And an interesting phenomenon that happens when people begin to explore overtones and harmonics with their voice is it opens the auditory sense of the brain. And so you begin to perceive more texture and dimension and sound and everyday sounds. And that was happening with my voice. And it didn't take long before, I found my first harmonium, got my first crystal bowl, and the sound and eventually music became the meditation. It replaced the words that I was using to help people make these connections to our deeper self through the heart of the earth, through the heart of the universe. And the sound is the meditation. The sound is the prayer for me now. And it just kept growing from there.
So Matthew, sorry to kind of take you back to the kind of little bit of mechanics of it. A lot of people won't even know what the Om is. Could you quickly explain the origins of the Om, or what it resonates and what?
Yeah, well, I believe it comes through the Vedic sciences, the Vedic culture, which we believe came out of the Indian subcontinent thousands of years ago, and the rishis, the seers, the adepts perceived the primordial sound vibration of the universe as Om. I guess Om is the best way that a human can capture that or recreate it. Yeah. So when they understood, and many ancient cultures understood, that everything in this physical universe is essentially vibration when you break it down. We perceive with our five senses that we're solid, we're in these containers, and the marble countertop that my laptop is sitting on right now is solid, and it certainly feels that way if I strike it. However, if we look closely enough, it's all empty space with fields of vibrating energy. And they knew this in ancient times somehow. And you see it in creation myths from different cultures around the world, where the god, goddess, or deity speaks, chants, or sings the world or the universe into existence. Yeah. It's even in the Bible, which I was raised with. It says, in the beginning was the Word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or God said, let there be light. And, for many generations, this is all, tolerated or dismissed or believed on faith, or, maybe considered a metaphor. But when we developed quantum physics, they found that it's true. Yeah. That it's all this that seems solid and everything in between is mostly empty space and vibrating fields of energy, resonating in specific frequencies that harmonize to form atoms, molecules, cells, bodies, and planets. And even on the macrocosmic level, as we look out through the universe, all the great heavenly bodies are in a constant state of movement. The planets are spinning on their axes and spinning around stars. The stars spin around the center of the galaxies, the black holes in the centers of the galaxies. And the galaxies are moving through space. So everything is moving at all times, at every level of existence. It's all vibration. Yeah. All vibration. And we can find that connection in ourselves through sound. When we use sound and music with that intention to make this connection, to remember our intimate interconnection with all that exists, it's there for us. There's a part of us within us that knows, and I'm pointing to my heart. I don't know if you can see. I'm pointing to my heart because I believe this is where it resides. It's part of us that knows we are part of the whole. The whole is part of us. It is one. It's all truly one. And this goes beyond belief, beyond faith, beyond dogma, beyond thought. It's a knowing, and that's a part of us. And I found that when we use sound in this directed way, there's a potential to open that door to find that part of ourselves and experience it, where it becomes not a concept, not a thought, it's a feeling experience. Yeah. And when we have that feeling experience, when we're in that experience, shift can happen at all levels of our being. And I've been absolutely blessed to witness this for decades now. We can experience healing or adjustments in our physical body, in our emotional body, in the mental body, in our energetic body, in our relationship to spirit. And it's been an absolute blessing to find music that encompasses this and facilitates that transformation and that connection for people, regardless of culture, regardless of their background. Anyone who's willing to truly listen can benefit from this frequency and this vibration that's coming through.
There is literally talking about the ancient Egyptian. I've got my voice back at me. I don't know why, but hopefully that will calm down in a minute. Talking about using sound to heal and regrow limbs,
right?
Which is pretty unbelievable. Using tones. We're talking ancient Egyptian literature, talking about how they could heal people that have lost a limb in a battle, which you might think is far-fetched, potentially, I don't know, but yeah, it's a powerful thing, isn't it? Sound, vibration, energy is so powerful. So I guess it's trying to not limit the opportunity or the potential of healing within the physical body, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. We see a salamander can regrow their tail. So why couldn't a human do something like that? You know, we're on the same planet. We're made of the same stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
And your work is your music does exactly that. It affects people in that way, and so much so that it's been promoted or used by Dr. Joe Dispenza, right? Which is what an honor. To have him, to have him. I've read here that he uses your music at retreats and recorded meditations.
Yes, absolutely, an honor. You know, I have the highest respect for Dr. Joe and his work. And last year, in the middle of COVID lockdown, and I'll admit, you know, that hit me pretty hard because I was touring, everything was going really well. I was feeling like, okay, this is going exactly the way I envisioned, and more to come. And then all of a sudden we had to stop, and it hit me pretty hard. So in the middle of all that, I got an email from Dr. Joe Dispenza's assistant saying, "We love your music, and Dr. Joe would like to talk to you about licensing a couple of your songs for an upcoming guided meditation for students." And so, you know, I considered playing hard to get, but I just, I just said yes. And just recently, he has licensed 3 more of my songs.
Wow.
And is asking for more. So I actually have had some friends that went to his live retreats down in Cancun over the last year. And I didn't know that they were going, but I got these phone calls. They're so excited. They're like, dude, you should have seen when your music came on.
I don't blame them for being excited. And for those of you in the audience who are not sure who Dr. Dispenza is, he's world renowned for his study in neuroscience and neuroplasticity, and how we can reword our brains in order to recondition our bodies to make them, you know, lasting changes. So he calls it the mind-body medicine.
So like the neuro pathways of the brain, rewiring that, because we talk about that in sport with children, you know, laying down the neuro pathways. As a coach, is that the same sort of principle?
Yes, and taking it into all aspects of our being, our habits, our way of thinking, our bodies, and how we live our life. So, you know, Dr. Joe keeps saying, you know, neurons that fire together, wire together. So we can untangle the old habits that are ingrained in our physiology, because our body remembers the emotions of the past, and we can separate from that and build new pathways and build a new future, you know, of the direction that we want to go. And, you know, the results are undeniable. They've been so many accounts of people who've healed not only their physical body, but other aspects of their lives through his work. So I, you know, absolutely honored that my work is helping that.
Yes.
You know.
That's mind blowing, because like the NLP stuff, you know, the whole rewiring and just reprogram is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
while we're here, Matthew, we can share a screen. Do you mind if we talk about your website?
I don't mind at all.
The reason why I say that is because I have been looking at your site all day, and to be honest, I've had some of your music in the background. I've meditated today, and it really is something else. Did you want to talk about this little thing here? The get 3 days of healing music for free. Is it?
Yeah, I really want to share this medicine with everyone. So if you go to my website, which is omshaman.com, excuse me, omshaman.com.
It's just on the banner at the bottom there, Matthew.
Okay,
just coming across so people can see that.
Great. And so you can click there and sign up, and I'll send you 3 days of healing music. And it's, some of my best work. I'm just sharing it freely, just so you can have that experience.
Yes, please. I'll be the first one to put my name down for that. It's nice. Very powerful. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And you have an event coming up that we want to show on the website as well. Event and tour. Can you talk about that coming up event?
Yes. Since I'm not able to physically go on tour, I'm holding live stream sound healing and meditation events. And the next one is Thursday, October 21st for the full moon. We'll be, tapping into that beautiful energy of the full moon. And so I'm from my living room here in Canada. We'll broadcast around the world. And we've had people from as far away as Austria and Australia. So I guess you can't get much further away than that tuning in.
Yeah. And they can go on and buy the tickets right on your website there.
That's right. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Just go to the events and tour tab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I quickly just show that so people can see? So there's one coming up here, full moon, sound healing and meditation.
Yeah. I'll be scheduling these events for next month as well. Probably when we get off the line here.
Well, I'm not going to play these, but you've got some great videos that you've linked here as well, and also a couple here with you working, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Especially here, is that like a sound box, Matthew?
Yes, that's called a Shruti box. Let me just make sure I'm looking at the right one here. Oh, that one is a harmonium, which is in that form. The harmonium is built in India, but the original harmonium was a European instrument, and you could play like an organ with two hands, and you would pump two pedals with your feet to push air through the reeds. So it was an air pump organ. Now, when the Europeans colonized India, they brought the harmoniums there, and the Indians took to it. They liked the sound, but they made it more portable, like what you see in this picture here. And so with the Indian style harmonium, the notes are the same. It's a smaller keyboard, but it's based on the Western scale, which I'll talk about the difference there in a moment. But so I play with one hand and pump the air bellows with my left hand, and it folds down and becomes quite compact. I've flown with that instrument around the world. It fits in the overhead compartment of almost every airplane I've gotten on. And I've put a lot of miles on those instruments.
Does customs say anything to you about the box? Or?
Well, often at the checkpoint, they're curious. I've had some spontaneous show and tell with them, but they often ask about it, and they're curious about the Tibetan bowls. I found that going through security, I had to pull out my bundle of Tibetan metal singing bowls because it's a big wad of metal and they want to see what it is. So it was kind of an ordeal to travel with, but quite worth it. And I'm really grateful for the experience.
I'm sure.
And I'm talking about Indian music adopting a Western instrument. So the harmonium has a keyboard that looks like a small piano, a short, just a less scale, but the same keys as we have on the piano. In traditional Indian music, they have more notes than that. They have notes in between the piano keys that you would find in Western music. So it's not, even though it's been used in India for over 400 years, it's still not considered a traditional Indian instrument because, when your culture goes back millennia, it takes a while to get that street cred.
Absolutely. I'm just
I,
going
thought,
to.
I also noticed that you're doing, sorry, Paul,
That's what I'm
private
getting ready
sessions
for.
as well. Are you not doing private sessions as well?
Yes.
Yeah. How
So,
does that work exactly?
well, here locally, I see clients for healing sessions with my hands-on modalities that I've developed over the last 20 years, which are forms of massage and energy work combined with sound healing. But I also work with people online. I tutor people to open their voice and reclaim their voice by working with the harmonics and overtones or throat singing, and also sometimes private energy and sound healing sessions as well.
Okay. I wondered how all practitioners have to find a way to do things virtually these days. So it's,
Right.
no.
And that reminds me, Paul had asked about, a lot of people don't know what throat singing is. And so I'm sitting here talking about overtones and harmonics. I want to explain what those actually are. The best example I can think of is if you look at a stringed instrument, let's say a guitar, we pluck that string, we register or recognize the note as the frequency of the sound waves coming off the string as it vibrates in space. So there's a specific number of vibrations per second, and those are the hertz. That's the frequency unit of measurement that we use to measure frequency is hertz, cycles per second. Well, those waves that are coming off the vibrating string as it moves through space, they double in frequency again and again and again. They multiply on themselves into infinity.
Oh,
And
wow.
so those multiplications of the fundamental tone are harmonics or overtones. The terms are interchangeable. Now, in our voice, we have the same phenomenon happening. The vocal cords are these fine membranes in our throat that allow air to pass through, and then they slap shut. And it happens really, really fast and sounds like a consistent tone. So we're creating the sound with our vocal cords, but by changing the shape of the instrument through movements of the jaw, lips, tongue, and where we send the sound. Singing coach would call it placement, where we place the sound in our head, in the throat, in the chest. Where we place the sound affects and how we shape it affects the harmonics that become more audible. So everyone has the harmonics and overtones in their voice already. You have it as you speak. But by bending the sound, yes, we're sound benders, we make the harmonics and overtones more audible to the human ear. So it sounds like multiple tones coming from one voice, or harmony coming from one voice.
And we do have a sample of a song, a 2-minute sample we're going to play of that very thing, which I can hardly wait for everybody to hear this.
While you're setting that up, Monique,
Yeah.
I just want to say to people, we've been talking already almost 40 minutes and we've not invited questions from the audience. So guys, please fire your questions at Matthew. It'd be great. There's some coming in already. So did you want to set up and we'll play the Savannah Ohm first?
Is there anything you want to say about that song before I play it?
Well, the guitar melody that I'm playing, interestingly, came to me 33 or so years ago on the bass guitar when I was a rocker. And it's been following me around for all these years. And I finally worked it up to play with acoustic guitar and give the song the dressing that it needed. And now it's a healing piece. And it's called Savannah Ohm.
Oh, let's listen to this. I have listened already, but guys, you've got to listen to this. It's brilliant.
I'll play it right now. Here we go. That's amazing. I could feel the vibration in that song.
It was. It was.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that song is 8.5 minutes in length, or 8 minutes and 35 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
So we can only play 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish we could play more, but that's amazing. So fantastic. Are there any questions, Paul?
Yeah, I'm just copying a link to your website into the chat because somebody's asked me. Martin, hi Martin. I know Martin is a musician, and he literally just put, "Oh my God."
Boom.
He's classically trained, I believe, Martin, if I'm right in saying you're classic. I believe I know he plays the piano as well. So
Cool.
a fellow musician, and he's come back with, that's incredible.
Thank
it
you,
really
Martin.
is. I mean, guys, go on and check. That's why I've just shared. I think it's going to take a little bit of kind of like processing when you hear Matthew's music. Sit, listen, allow it to flow over you, and just process that. It is, like I say, I've been doing it all day, and I'm still there with it. So it's really good, you know.
Beautiful.
And I find it's really very relaxing. Especially, I mean, I remember listening to a guy. There was a guy, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He did something similar back in the 90s where they found music could affect learning, just real low frequencies in the background. Have you found from a different point of view, rather than, I say, just being healing, it's amazing, but from a different perspective, have you found your music helps people to be more focused, more in tune?
Yeah. One of the best examples of that is I've played for classrooms of special needs students, young. Actually, I played for preschool or kindergarten level autistic kids. I played for different special needs middle school kids, and also for at-risk high school students. And they responded so profoundly. Actually, the students that had the most difficulty being still were the ones that went deepest with this music.
Wow.
And the teachers and the teachers' aides all told me how they could see the effect for days afterwards, how it improved the behavior and attentiveness of the children. So that was phenomenal for me.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Worthwhile to buy the albums, and I believe they're sold on not Amazon, Spotify. They're on. You have music.
Yes, I am on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
And people can get the 3 free downloads through my website, and I keep in touch with people as well. I send new videos and new songs when they come out, and let people who are staying connected by email, that they get to know first what's happening. So.
Beautiful. Martin's asked, was you a raver back in the day?
Was I a raver?
Well,
no. I was a rocker. So yeah, the techno didn't really work for me. And I'm a little bit older than that, I guess. So I kind of missed the boat.
Disco era for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got loads of questions because I've been listening to this all day, and I know people keep sharing your link as well. So I'm not sure if it's working, but everyone's helping and sharing the link. So thank you, guys. There's about 4 or 5 different people that are trying to share your link. It does work, trust me, because I've got it. So please go on and have a look, especially seeing Matthew work on the YouTube video that's embedded into the site. It's really good. And it could take some. Also, the interviews. There was one guy that was interviewed on there. Sorry, I don't mean to embarrass you, Matthew, in case you're not sure what I'm talking about. There was a guy on here who was a pilot, and his mind, he was kind of like, well, my pilot's mind is that this is all wrong. But when he tried it, he was like, oh my God, he felt completely different and blown away by it at the end. So please, guys, go on and have a look. It's well worth it. I'm kind of half tempted to go on and play it right now, but I'm so worried that we'll end up going off on a tangent and we'll lose us in YouTube world somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, I did see a question that someone's asking if I was aware if the Tibetan monks and other
yes,
singers.
here we go. Carol Phillips. Hi, okay. Carol.
Have you found that people like the Tibetan monks and Mongolians who use throat singing regularly suffer less from depression?
Yeah, I can only answer from my own experience and perspective. And for me, again, going into lockdown was a case in point of this very phenomenon. Because when I just stopped it was abrupt for me, and I wasn't singing very much at home. And I did feel my mental state and my emotions, I was kind of, sinking. And I snapped out of it eventually and like, what am I doing? I've got this tool. It's not just to be sharing, it can help me too. And I started singing more again, and that the effect was immediate. There have been some studies. There's a Dr. Alfred Tomatis. I'm not sure the timeline. I think it was maybe 40 years ago or so. He was called into an order of, I believe, Gregorian monks, or a Christian monk, and they had a new abbot. Now, these monks had a tradition of chanting for centuries. They had a new abbot that came in and thought that was not needed, and he had them stop their daily chanting, and they all went into health decline. So they brought in different nutritional consultants. They tried the different diets, and their health just kept declining. Finally, they brought in Dr. Tomatis, and he had them resume their devotional chanting, and their health all across the board improved quite rapidly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So there's, the physical component of the vibration that we're generating within the body that would help our physiology, but then the emotional part of expressing from the throat chakra and making that connection through the voice, through that sound, that so much is pulled together on all levels through the sound. Sound is a great connector.
So chanting with meditation would be one may have even more profound experiences, would you say?
I'd say it totally rocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the meditation centers say here too. Yeah, the chanting.
We've got a great question coming from Trevor. He was a guest on our show.
Oh, yes.
How much do you believe your area influences your music? Does it stay the same if you're away from the area? Good question. Thanks, Trevor.
Yeah, well, for me, I've taken my music to different parts of the world, and my music, it was pretty much the same within the container of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
However, there's a song on my new album called Song of the Ancients that it actually came to me in Peru in 2013. I was there under the invitation and guidance of a bona fide shaman who was raised in Cusco, Peru, who I met in Canada. And he was taking people on journeys, pilgrimages to the sacred sites and temples around Peru. And I was invited to come and bring my music there. And one night we stayed up in ceremony. We camped outdoors in this high desert valley. And the next day I was downloaded literally with a melody that is Song of the Ancients. And I heard these voices singing in my head over and over again. I just started to sing along, and eventually recorded it on a handheld device so I could save it and get back to it. And I just felt immediately that this is a transmission from the ancestors of, these ancient civilizations, that it was meant to be shared in the time that we're in now of transition on Earth. And so I managed to record the song, and it's the title track of the new album, and that's also in the 3 Days of Healing Music. So you'll get a free download of that.
Oh, brilliant!
Sign up there, yeah.
Fantastic.
That's fantastic. We've got a quote here. Did you want to read the one out from Andrea, Monique?
If I can see it, I will. Yes, Andrea Lavender. Yeah, I remember when I listened to Thai monks chanting in northern Thailand, and it put me in an almost in a trance-like state. Can you tell me what happens with the body and mind when this happens?
Well, the heartbeat slows down, and the breath slows down, and the heart takes on a coherent waveform. The electromagnetic pulse of the heart, electricity and magnetism, moves into harmony. And the Heart Math Institute, they study this and have been for quite some time. And when we're in that state of unity, of rapture, of awe, of peace, of love. The amplitude or the volume of the heart pulse is stronger, and it can be measured outside of the body. But when we're in the lower emotions, anger, fear, anxiety, etc., becomes incoherent. There's less order to the pulses of our heart, and it is weaker. It's like we're turning down the volume.
Yeah.
So I think that is a key to understanding the effects of certain music on our mind and emotions and our body.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I understand that.
I was just going to say, there's so many questions that I want to ask.
Yeah.
We're almost up for the hour. I can't believe it.
Went so fast.
So
Yeah.
what's next, Matthew?
More. I'm on a mission to keep creating this experience through music and sound. There's more coming through, and my intention is to keep recording and getting it out there. And if I'm ever allowed to tour again, I will. I absolutely love sharing in person, whether it's small groups or if it's a stadium. I've played for some fairly large audiences at times, but many intimate groups, and to me, it's all precious. But in the meantime, I will continue to create this music and do everything I can to stay inspired and connected. And I feel like this medicine that I've been entrusted with by the universe and by the creator is my responsibility to share. And I'm going to do everything that I can to make it available to people.
Yeah. This is a really stupid question, but I'm going to ask it. You give all this love out to so many people with your, and it is a skill set. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And the healing process. But what do you do to kind of take time for yourself to heal? Or because there's obviously being a part of that creative process. Obviously, I believe that spirit influences you and what you're doing. That's my personal belief from what I've heard from your music. It's fantastic. But how do you relax? Do you simply listen to your own music, or do you go and listen to get other ideas?
Yeah. Well, nature is a big teacher for me. And so I love to go into the forest or to the beach and connect with the elements and get my bare feet on the earth and to breathe the air and to observe the animals and the plants and the bugs and the rhythm of the water and the sound of the air as the wind moves through the trees. And all of this inspires me and keeps me alive and enlivened. Also, when I'm sharing this music, especially even if there's just one other person, I'm receiving as well. It's like it doesn't drain me at all, which is a stark contrast to when I used to play in rock bands. I'd be exhausted and wiped out when I came home. Of course, we're playing in often a toxic environment because my bands never really made it out of the bars. But that was exhausting. And this music, even when I was on tour and pushing myself after flying across the Atlantic and doing a gig that night, it fed me. And so what a unique and a blessing experience to have with music. I'm so blessed.
Yeah. There's one more question. Do we have time? Is that okay? Sorry, guys.
We do. Sure.
Coming from Jane Clark. Here we go.
Jane Clark asks, she asks, while you're in the meditative state of your own chanting, if you are giving healing to a person, do you feel the blue healing light following through the person? Trevor. There's Trevor there. The name of Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor. That's her partner. So hello, Jane and Trevor.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, the blue healing light. That's interesting that you mentioned that, because when I stand in front of a mirror and practice do my own qigong practice, that's how I see the qi coming off of my hands and in other parts of my body. When I'm using the sound as a healing modality, I'm usually quite grounded and in the physical form and keeping track of what my body is doing. And it's necessary for me to be in tune if I'm playing instruments and to stay engaged on that level. So I don't really get a whole lot of visual during my healing sessions, whether it's with a group or just one person. But I do I get impulses, what to do next, or what to sing next, or where to place my hands, or what needs attention. That's kind of what guides me. And the rest of me is staying as grounded as possible and present in the 3D, just so I can function with some measure of skill, not floating off somewhere.
Thank you. It's been absolutely amazing, and thank you for agreeing to come on and give us an interview.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and thank you for letting me connect with your audience and everyone out there. I hope to see more of you.
Effie's just said you're on an amazing journey, Matthew.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I'm truly blessed. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. Before you go, Matthew, just down the side, you'll see the comments. Can you scroll through? We give a free reading giveaway. I believe it's my turn this week. I believe Carol Phillips won last week.
Yes.
Of yourself, Monique, wasn't it? So if you just scroll through, and I'll give a free reading away at some point this week. If you guys want to get in touch with me, that would be great.
And you want me to scroll?
Yeah.
Just choose any name that you're drawn to.
Oh, for someone to get a free reading. Okay.
Yeah, you get to pick one.
Okay. How about for Jeannie Donnelly?
Oh, just going to write that down. So if you'd like to get in touch with me, that will be...
Congratulations, Jeannie.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, just message me after the show and I can get in touch and we can arrange something. That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And everyone's coming on saying how fantastic it's been and how informative, and thank you very much.
They really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Matthew, for coming.
I shall certainly be keeping track of you, Matthew, and watching what you do. Definitely. It's been education and it's been a real privilege.
Well, please stay in touch and feel free to reach out anytime.
That's a pleasure.
That goes for everyone else that's listening as well. I'd love to connect.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matthew.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Monique, that was awesome.
Wow. I'm gonna have to just sort of gather myself for the next
We've got to work now. We got
to work now, and I'm just feeling so chill. Wow. So but that's good. That's good. So
I'm going to try and focus by telling people to, if you'd like a message, let us know. Just get the traffic going on the messages, on the comments, and share as well. That'll be fantastic. Monique and I are going to work now.
Right. We're going to link from opposite sides of the two different continents here, me in BC and Paul over in the UK. And I will be doing spirit art along with mediumship, linking with Paul as he does his mediumship.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to change my camera here.
So we can see in your kitchen, Monique, your studio kitchen, which
I had to clean.
For those guys that have not seen you work before, you've now gone back to drawing by hand rather than, you've got a very expensive computer that you don't use now. We've kind of persuaded you to go on freehand again, so people can see the process, and
people seem to identify with the hand.
Yes.
So drawing and moving. So let me just change the page. This is a previous reading for lining up the camera. Sorry, I should have set this up earlier.
That's okay. So guys, if you'd like a free message, let us know. We are now going to work. So how this will work, we'll connect with you guys, and I'm just going to copy and paste the StreamYard link into, hopefully, it says, into the, there we go, paste. That should come up in the comment section. And if you believe that the contact is for you, please let us know in the chat. And if you feel strongly it's for you, come into the studio. It's always easier and stronger connection for us if we can hear your voice. So fantastic. There's the link just coming up there, but it is in the comments. Oh, sorry, it's the wrong one. In the comments. Oh, I've just shared the wrong one. Fantastic. Let me go back into StreamYard. I'm going to stop sharing that one. Are you still there, Monique?
I am, and I'm just
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to try and
trying
send
to
this.
relax and link with spirit as you're setting up there.
Let me just redo the link because it didn't take. Okay. All the technical issues. Well, we'll try again. Hopefully, this should be the correct StreamYard link. Perfect. You should see that there, guys. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to step out of being in present. I want to bring through this first contact. Monique, we connect really well together, don't we?
We do. And as you're speaking, I'm trying to. Would you like me to go ahead, Paul?
Yeah, I have got someone, but I've.
Is it a male?
Not sure, but I can feel someone with me. If you want to start, I'll link in with you. It's fine.
Okay, whichever way, it doesn't matter to me. But I'm as I'm just trying to settle in and relax. I'm getting somebody who's coming in, a male that's talking about his earlier days, his earlier life. He did grow to be older, and he's telling me with most of his hair. And I'm feeling something. I'm feeling that. I feel that he's from your neck of the woods, there, Paul, out in Europe, and I feel something around. I feel that he enjoyed acting. All right, maybe he was in theater, or maybe he was in the movies, but I just feel that he enjoyed or plays, but he enjoyed acting. And I'm seeing light hair, wavy hair, parted on the side. Okay, let's see. He did go to an older age. I'm going to start to draw now, Paul.
Okay.
Good looking man.
Okay, I believe we've got a double link, Monique. So I believe we've got two, but I'll just we go with the one. But I believe the two connect because I've got a woman and I'm going to connect with both. And I believe they're both connected. I believe very strongly these are grandparents when they passed into spirit.
Yes, he is a grandparent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I believe we've got both here because I'm picking up. And we had this recently, Monique, when we was working for a group in somewhere in America recently. And you had one person, I had the other one that connected. Do you remember? That was a really
it has happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really interesting link. So I'm just gonna because I feel the information that she's given me is gonna connect both together. So I know I've got parents and grandparents. There would have been grandparents when they went into spirit. Okay. Yes. I'm also being made very aware of the mother would have had breathing issues, and sorry to sound a bit cliche, but this lady would have had breathing problems long before her passing. I do feel there's a, and she's giving me, I keep seeing, what do they call that? A nebulizer to help her breathe. I do believe that she had like an asthma or I don't think it was a COPD, but it was very similar to asthma, but like a severe asthma.
And who I feel I'm drawing here is actually the male.
Yeah, I feel you've got the man with you, and I can feel them both together. But maybe that's the point. I feel that the lady would have spoken for him.
Oh,
as well. Would have done a lot of talking for him. He was very much a gentleman that would like to have been in the background rather than been to the fore. I know the name William connects here.
That's amazing because I just wrote William up here. So we are connected. Yeah, I got William as well.
Okay. I also feel, again, a real strong sense of pride with the gentleman because I'm linking with both, Monique. I do feel there's a military connection with the gentleman as well. And I know it wouldn't just be him. It would also go back a generation as well. And okay.
Mm-hmm. I also feel a love of music as well, ironically, from our podcast here. We sing.
Okay. I know there would have been holidays to Devon as well. He's making me aware of. I also know that this gentleman would have had an issue with his lower back and I believe his right hip because he's making me aware of that. But the lady keeps the lady keeps fussing him. His partner keeps fussing him. I'm very aware of the fussing nature that his partner would have had. I kind of okay. I feel that right. Thank you. That the gentleman passed into spirit first, because I feel that the lady that I'm picking up and bringing in also she keeps trying to give me the name Shirley as well. 3 or 4 times now she keeps giving me the name Shirley that connects to her. Now when we give names, guys, it's always it'll be either them or somebody associated around them as close, like family or very close friends. They don't just give names. And the problem is, we're giving names, it makes us focus, and if we can't take it straight away because we focused on the name, we kind of lose track of who this is, or we kind of not sure. So don't worry too much about the names. The names are kind of like the icing on the cake, really. Okay, so if anybody recognizes the gentleman's face, I'm going to give you some more as well. The gentleman, I know, again, I'm going back into the lady's energy. If she's making me aware of the husband, I believe, had a stroke, because she keeps helping to feed him as well. And also, I feel he would have had a stroke on the left side.
Yeah, I'm feeling something about stroke.
I'm also aware that he was very poorly before he passed, which is an obvious thing, I know. But this gentleman had a heart issue as well as having a stroke. Okay. See, I kind of feel that I'm not, I know I said Devon, but I feel like I'm this side of the country, and I feel Devon connects rather with holidays and memories. And I feel, and the name John as well, they keep trying to give me the name John, closely associates to the gentleman. I actually feel
he felt some time he has spent some time in the hospital, I'm feeling.
Yeah, he had, I'm very aware that this gentleman had a stroke and a weak heart as well. And I'm getting 82 as well as an age. And I know someone can take this, because I feel like I'm connected to a female in the audience rather than a man. It's more on the amazing. Okay. Just going to keep going. If anybody can't take it, we'll have to move on. But this is a great.
I feel this is a grandparent for somebody in the audience.
Yeah,
I feel that right now. And a female, I'm feeling.
Yeah, his partner's coming with him. Very much together. Very much. They did everything together.
And he did have his hair.
Yeah.
At least at this age that I'm drawing him.
He's also they're making me aware of May, I believe it's a May birthday, but I'm also getting the number 18 that connects as well. It's a great drawing, Monique.
Good looking man.
But
lots of love for somebody in the audience here. I can just feel it.
Very dry sense of humor, and I keep feeling this connection as well. Maybe. Suzanne. Okay, what's a maybe, Suzanne? Okay, this gentleman would have had a very dry sense of humor. There is a real sense of pride and self-respect about this gentleman, self-respecting. Very much traditional. Father passed on May the 18th. Okay, I know that was strong when I got that evidence. If you can take that, Susan, do you want to come in so we can hear your voice? Don't worry if you don't want to go on camera. I'll quickly put the link in again in the comments, because 82, yes, very dry, all of that, yes. Well, there's a possibility this is for you then, if I can paste this in here, and I'm not sure how. Okay, there you go. If you see the link now, I've just put that in. I'm hoping, Kaylee, if that's possible, could you paste that or pin that to my top of the page? That would be fantastic. I'm not sure. My phone's died, so I can't do it from this end, unfortunately. But if you look at the comments, Susan, you should be able to just jump into that. If not, we could always, if you put your email address in, we can email you the link. Also, then it sounds like, again, I keep getting the May connection really strong here. Trying. Okay, thanks, Susan. But lovely to get you in if you can get in.
I do feel a military background as well with this man.
Yeah, real sense. Real sense. This gentleman was okay. Here we go. Here we go.
Ross.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm fine.
Awesome. Do you understand?
I can take quite a bit of it, Paul.
Okay.
Do you recognize the drawing, Susan? Does it look familiar to you, Susan?
Yeah, I actually think it looks quite a bit like my father.
Your father. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said grandfather, but
yeah, I know. I wasn't sure where I was going with it because I felt I know he was a grandfather, but I wasn't sure if I was connecting with the daughter or the granddaughter in the audience.
Yeah, he would be a father and a granddaughter, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very aware of the lady that comes in with him as well. She keeps fussing him. Would you understand the lady, the partner that comes in with him, fussing him? It's almost on a vibe of a mothering, almost mothering him. I'm really sorry to say that, but she would have mothered him a little bit, done everything for him. It was a very, very lucky man in that respect.
My mother was the doer. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I definitely feel her presence for sure.
Oh, she's very strong. Yeah.
That's interesting. Andrea has just said the gentleman in the picture actually looks a bit like you, Susan. So,
yeah, I can see the resemblance. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Also, okay.
That's interesting. We've got some interference.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
I do look quite a bit like my father.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry, Susan. We're kind of running out.
I can still hear you, but we may cut out.
Okay, really sorry about that. Because I believe are you in America? Are you in the UK or the States? Oh, fantastic. Okay, so we you've got Monique in Canada, myself in the UK, and you're in Chicago. It's wonderful. Please take this gentleman's love. They both come in with so much love.
Will.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't recognize the names.
Okay, I'm sorry about the names, but the name William kept coming in, and I'm not sure if it was Sheila or Shirley, but the name kept coming in, and also
William came in for me as well, most definitely.
And the name John was really strong as well.
William is very. I can take that for sure. That was his grandfather, and John is on the other side of the family. But Shirley, a really good friend of my mother's, best friend, maybe.
Yeah, because mother was talking. The problem is, I had mother talking and this gentleman as well. So that's fine. Just I want to leave their love with you. If you get in touch with us, give us your email address. If you privately message us, we can send this picture to you.
Absolutely.
Can I? All right, I'll try to figure out how to do that. Thank you so much. You read me last week in Voice of Angels. God bless you.
Oh, we did. Oh, we did. Yes, we did.
You did. You brought in my son. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I know. I saw you come up live, and I was like, "Oh my God, I've got to get on." Thank you so much. I'll let you go.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, hon. Thank you. God bless you too.
And you. That was a wonderful demonstration that we did last Sunday, wasn't it, Monique?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
I do wonder though if there was an English connection somewhere, whether the gentleman served in Europe, because I felt that being pulled towards Europe.
Yes, I did too, Paul. I'm not sure why that is, but
no, I don't know. I did feel it being pulled towards Europe. So
yeah.
Okay, let's do one more. We got time for we've got another 15. Okay. This is someone very straightforward, no nonsense, straight talking gentleman that would say as it is, as we say in the UK. They would not hold back. They would tell you what they think straight away. Straight away, I've got a really strong gentleman coming in. I know he's a father figure. I know how determined this gentleman is to come through and give this message over. I feel, okay, thank you. I feel there's a son here, that's still here, that's in trouble, but I feel the message. I believe there's a female or a daughter or daughter-in-law that's listening, but I can feel the female connection this message is for, but it's regarding a son. That was a problem with the son. I do also feel, I can't work out whether it's a gentleman here he's talking about. I do feel the gentleman came from the school of hard knocks. I do feel that he never had any kind of formal education. I felt he learned from the school of life.
Yes, and I can feel that now in the eyes.
But I do feel he wasn't a man. He wasn't a slouch. He was a really hard-working gentleman. He was a man that kind of created his own castle. I'm not sure whether I'm going to the UK or I'm across your area yet, Monique. Have you got him, Monique?
It's funny, when I don't link visually, I literally ask Spirit to take over. And okay. The drawing, that is, and as I draw, he comes to me in his eyes, so I can see him there, Paul. Yes. Very strong-minded. We got Wendy Watson. Sounds like Dad, Pamela Watson. Okay. I know this. I feel the son. I'm reaching out to the son. I need the son to be helped. So there's a problem here because I feel really heartbroken. I can see him, Monique, and I'm not going to sway it. Okay. Thank you. I'm not going to sway it. You're going to get my mind in it if you do that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be in trouble. So no, it's just how it is. I'm very clairvoyant as well, and sometimes I just hear, then other times I get all of it. Okay. I keep getting this gentleman being really like a rough diamond, so strong, so hardworking. Yes, my son struggling. We are in Australia. Okay, would you understand the gentleman? And again, I know we've had a Matthew on tonight, but this gentleman's voice was unique in terms it was quite deep as well. And Matthew almost blew my speakers tonight. It was absolutely amazing with the ohm and just unbelievable. This gentleman had a deep voice, quite a strong manner about him, and no nonsense, I feel hardship with this man. Yeah, certainly in the beginning of his life. Hardship from his past that would have left him a bit. I just feel a bit of a heavy energy here. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The vibration is slightly heavier. Wendy, if you believe this is for you, would you like to come in? That would be fantastic. I'm just going to paste the link again so you guys can jump in. Right, there we go. It's coming up again, and we'll keep sharing it. I don't know why it's not being pinned to the top of the page for some reason. It should be coming in now. So, yeah, if you can jump in on that, Wendy, that'll be lovely. I don't think we've had somebody from Australia come in before, Monique, on Spiritual Talk. Yeah, it's an odd time of day over there right now, isn't it? I've noticed we've had a few from people from all around the world today. We've had Denmark in tonight, with Australia, America. It's been fantastic. Yeah, I'm also getting impatient. This gentleman would be getting impatient. He's pacing. He would have paced when he had something he had to say. Okay. Also, I just keep hearing a radio in the background. I know there would have been radio in the background in this gentleman's life. Not anything specific, but just the radio in the background all the time. I keep hearing he's trying to give me a name, which I don't recognize, but it's like a C. Sounds like a C. Cole or... he's trying to give this name beginning initial C. Do you understand? Wendy's coming. This is fantastic. Hopefully she can connect. I can just see her. Hello. From the UK.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you perfectly.
Good morning.
Good morning. What time is it over there?
7:20 in the morning.
Oh, okay. It's really early. You wasn't expecting this at breakfast, was you?
No.
Do you, the link is a bit weak, Wendy, but we'll keep going as best we possibly can. Do you
Okay.
recognize the picture of this gentleman coming through? But would you understand this
can't
gentleman?
recognise
He's quite vocal, quite loud, quite vocal, quite a strong man, a strong voice.
Yep, everything else resonated. Like, my dad left school very young. He was a hard-working
Yep.
concreter,
Yeah.
deep voice. Definitely didn't have much schooling education.
Yep. There's an issue with his son because I need to connect with my son. The other thing, sometimes when father comes in or dad comes in, sometimes their dad will come in as well, grandfather and father, because we talked about vibration and resonation, because they're so close family. You can sometimes get two contacts come in. So it could be a mixture of dad and granddad. I'm not sure. Is that something that's happened to you, Monique?
Once in a blue moon. Yeah, it has happened.
But I've got to be honest, that is pretty much what I'm seeing with gentlemen over there. Also, the blue eyes. Would you understand the blue eyes, Wendy?
My my brother that passed had very blue eyes, the only one in the family.
Okay, well, he's just showing me his really blue eyes.
And dark hair.
Yeah, my brother who passed had really blue eyes.
Okay. Well, maybe we're bringing another contact in as well then. We're trying to stick to one contact, this gentleman. Because
I've got a lot there.
I know, absolutely. Okay. Now, I do feel this gentleman, when he was here, family were together. Would you understand that? But I feel since he's been passed, people have split up and gone everywhere. And things
Definitely.
people are not as, how can I say, people are not as tight as they used to be. They're not together as a family as they used to be.
Definitely.
Okay. Some slight annoyance, I have to say, from his side, but again, everything comes in with loving kindness from this gentleman. Okay, there is. Okay. Also, it keeps trying to give me names, but it sounds like a J name. He keeps trying to give me a J name. Initial J. And I feel this is a nickname as well, because he's pulling my leg as I'm kind of trying to connect with him. I feel him pulling my leg.
His middle name was James, but I've got a daughter with a J.
Maybe it's a bit too loose for me. I like to be precise the best I can. It's making me feel like it's a nickname rather than an actual name, because I'm laughing with this connection, this J, and I'm laughing. I also know this gentleman was also a practical joker, because he liked to play practical jokes.
Yes, very much.
People. He's also telling me about turning the lights out, making the lights go out.
Yeah, and turning them on.
Yeah. And yeah. I've got to say this. I'm sorry. I'm not going to embarrass you in front of everybody, but he's saying less is more.
Yeah.
Less is more. Do you understand what he means by that?
Yep.
Yeah. And I kind of want to walk away from that situation. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will leave his love with you. He's a very strong-minded gentleman. Okay. Would you understand there was he's making me aware there was some trauma in his life as a child?
Yes.
Okay, he's making me aware of the trauma in his childhood, and I believe it's around a loss, the way he's talking. Someone very close to him passing. Okay. Okay. Please take his love with you. You can go and enjoy your cornflakes now. Okay.
Thank you.
Monique, did you want to add anything to this gentleman? Because we've got a few minutes.
Well, do you recognize the drawing, Wendy, in any way?
When he was younger, yes.
Yes. Okay. And he tells me that they often tell me how to dress, how he likes to how they like me to dress them, literally. And yeah, he's telling me that he had difficult time sleeping at night. I don't know if you remember that, but also he liked to wear T-shirts underneath his shirts. as I was at his collar, he made me put a T-shirt underneath his shirt. Okay, and yes, I feel that. Yes, the traumas that he went. You're correct, Paul. The traumas that he went through in younger years in his life, he carried that with him through into his older years. He's telling me in the heart. That's where he carried it. Yeah. Okay, and
he did pass in his sleep.
Oh, he did pass in his sleep. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I felt something about sleep, having a hard time to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he have problems with his throat as well? Do you know?
I'm not sure because it was a heart attack, but he did have a lot of indigestion that night.
Oh,
right. Okay. Because I'm looking at his neck and I feel that I just feel drawn to his neck. There was problems there.
Yeah, indigestion.
Okay. Very good.
Lastly, is there a Brian? I keep hearing the name Brian.
He had a friend, Brian, like a best friend, a mate.
Yeah. Okay. We have literally run out of time, Monique.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
We'll just leave him with you, and he wants you to know that he's nearby, that he's not gone, that he's around you all the time. I just feel his love. And I'll just leave that with you, Wendy, if you
Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you.
Very wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for watching, Wendy.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Hi, Monique. It's just you and I. It's just you and I now. Thank you, everybody, for watching today. It's been awesome. We really enjoyed it.
Certainly have. This was a great show today. I really enjoyed our guest.
Yeah, thanks again to Matthew.
Yeah, and the readings went well too. So
they really did.
All in all, it was a good day.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. You've been awesome. Awesome. Next week, I know we don't like to mention next week's guest, but we do have someone special coming on. It's Leanne Turner, who is international healer. So I'm really looking forward to that. And so back here this time next week, Monique.
Absolutely. I'll be here with bells on.
Yeah, absolutely. So just, guys, have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, everybody.
And thank you, Kaylee, before I go as well. Thank you, Kaylee.
Yes. Thank you, Kaylee.
Thank you, Kaylee. Awesome. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.